Hey guys, welcome back to TezMania TV. Today I have a double product review for you. I am testing out two new foundations. The first one is the Stay Matte But Not Flat Liquid Foundation by NYX. This is water-based, and the shade that I've picked is SMF01, which is called Ivory. The second product is the Cover Up Stick and Brush Foundation and Concealer by Isadora. This is an oil-based concealer and foundation, the kind that you roll up, and it has a built-in brush into the foot of the package. And the shade that I've chosen for this one is number 01, light beige, so I have the lightest shades in both of these. My skin is a mix between a yellow and a pink undertone, so it's always a little bit difficult for me to find the perfect shade of foundation. One of the tricks that I have to make that work is to use a foundation that is a little bit more pink and a concealer that is a little bit more yellow, and those kind of neutralize each other, or the other way around. These both look like they are yellow, so we're gonna do a proper test, and I've tried both once before, but not more than that because I want you guys to be here for my first test, basically. So I've already moisturized my face, and I'm just gonna put some mattifying primer on. I'm using the Essence Get Picture Ready. I have very dry skin, as I'm sure you guys know, and using a water-based foundation is usually not a good idea when you have dry skin. The NYX one, like I said, is water-based, but I still want to try it. And the reason why it's not a good idea is because there's no moisture that actually does something to the skin. Water does fuck all. Oil-based ones, the oil, it can be like a nutrient that keeps your skin from looking too dry. So what I thought I would do today is use the Isadora one as a concealer because it is one of these stick wind up ones, and the NYX one as the base foundation, and see if those work together in combination. So here you have the tone of this. It does look very yellow when you look at it like this. And you can tell that it is water-based. It's smooth, but it's not oily. This will probably come out pretty patchy on me because of the dryness in my skin. I can already tell also that this is a little too light for me. I am pale, but I'm not solid white. Yeah, so this is coming off really patchy. Just look at my forehead. Like I said, the texture is nice and smooth, so if you have oily skin, this water-based foundation might be a good option for you. For me, I just feel like I'm just kind of rubbing it around and that it's not going into the skin at all. And it looks way too pale. I mean, obviously you can correct that with contouring and stuff, but it's best if you can find a foundation that actually matches your skin. You don't have to do all that extra work. You need to see that up close. Okay, so you can still see the patches of red that I have in a couple of spots. Obviously, I want to cover that up. And this is a medium coverage foundation, I think, and it is matte also, which is contributing even more to it looking very patchy on my dry skin. And you might ask, why did I even buy this if I knew that it was a bad idea? I want to try new products and stuff. And I also want to show you when it goes bad. Not only show you perfect products that make everything glorious, to talk about things that you need to consider when you buy these things. So yeah, we got some red poking through. It's a little too pale for me, and we've got some patchiness going on, especially around the forehead, but also over here. So we're going to see what happens when I bring in the Isadora one, which you just roll up like a little deodorant. You can immediately tell that this is oil-based when you put this on. There's such a difference in the texture and in the feeling of it. This doesn't smell very good. The NYX one has no scent whatsoever. This one kind of smells old. And it's not old because it's a brand new product, so it's not something that's been left on the shelf for a long time, but it does not have a pleasant smell. I'm not going to be able to smell it once it's applied and stuff, but just keep that in mind if you're sensitive. It smells very old, and yeah. This is a lot smoother because it is oil-based. I can feel it go on, like slide over my skin a lot better. This is also more high coverage because it's like a mix of a foundation and a concealer. Color-wise, they appear to be pretty much the same. I think the NYX one might have been a little bit paler. Oh yeah, I'm not using the brush now. I'm just using my fingers because I actually just prefer that. But what you can do, obviously, is like go like this, and then you get the brush, and then you use the brush. It's good to have a brush in there, but I'm not a fan of using brushes. I feel like they just kind of move the product around instead of just applying it. So yeah, fingers is how I like to apply. So yeah, this is definitely more coverage, and now I'm combining the two, so we can't see if this would make my skin patchy, but because it is oil-based, I'm thinking it wouldn't. So this would probably not be a good idea for somebody who already has very oily skin. You get a bit of shine in there, so you can tell. The NYX one was completely matte. This, because it's oil-based, has some shine to it. So we're going to need to powder this now. I would have needed to powder the NYX one too, even though it's supposed to set completely dry, because that stuff ends up in your wrinkles and things, and that's the only way to stop that from happening is to powder. But the coverage of this is pretty good. I think this was more in line with my actual skin tone as well. And make sure you don't have any creasing before you powder, or you're gonna set that stuff in the creases. That's why I always powder the underneath the eyes and the eyelids first, because that's where things tend to crease, because that's where I have my wrinkles. So I'm just really quickly gonna do the rest of the makeup really fast and then go back to talking about the products. And we have a finished face. So together, I think they look okay. The color of the oil-based one matched my skin tone a lot better than the water-based one from NYX, because this was a little pale. This also became patchy, so you can see a little bit of that. This, however, felt more comfortable. I'm not a big fan of oil-based foundations, even though it's probably what I should be using because I have such dry skin. I just don't like the sensation that my skin is fatty and oily. I'm so used to it being dry that whenever it's oily and greasy and I can feel that there's stuff on here, I'm just uncomfortable. So oil-based foundations are not my favorite. But with that said, this is an okay one. It doesn't feel super heavy, but I can tell that there is foundation on here. I'm spoiled with the silicone-based airbrush foundation that I use, and that you can't feel at all. However, using silicone-based products all the time is not good because it clogs your pores, so that's why I'm looking into other options. My other go-to foundation that I've been using for years is this one. It's called the Blur Foundation by Lumine, the Finnish brand. Again, using one of their lightest shades, the Zero Light Ivory. They also have a double zero. This one is way too white for me though, but I can combine the two during the winter season and they kind of work. This is a water-based foundation, just like the NYX one is, but the NYX one is meant to be super matte, which this one is not. So this is more comfortable and less patchy than this one. But if you have oil-based skin, you can definitely give this a try because it felt good going on. If you have dry skin and you like oil-based products, the Isadora one isn't bad. The coverage was quite good actually. It's just that I'm not used to the sensation of oil on my skin. I just feel so uncomfortable. Even after I've powdered, I can really feel that it's on there. So I don't know if I can like combine this with this, because I do have this, which is a super high coverage foundation. It's almost like a concealer. This is by Face. So this is what I usually combine my regular foundation with, but I think this would work in combination with this as well. It's just good to have options. But I do know for sure that the NYX one is not my cup of tea, because even though I put the oil-based one over, you can see little red patches in my forehead, at least if you look closely. But that's how you learn these things, trial and error. And I wanted to demonstrate the difference for you guys. But yeah, those are the two products if you want to try them out. If you have any questions to me about the products or anything else when considering choosing foundation, feel free to turn to the comments section or send me a direct message. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, do no harm, but take no shit. I'll see you next time.